What's up, guys? Epic Outdoor Adventures, Brian Peacock back. We're gonna do some flint knapping. Haven't done any in a little while. I hurt my finger a long time ago, about over a year and a half ago, and it's healing up enough to where I can start actually doing something now again. But I got a piece of this year's Flint Ridge Chalcedony, and it's some good stuff. This is heat treated, and I did buy this, so I didn't find it. But we're going to reduce this down a little bit here, and see what we can get out of this piece. If we can get anything. Like I said, I'm a little rusty and all, but we're going to trim this up here. I'm using a copper bopper that I made myself. It's just a copper pipe cap, domed, filled with lead, nailed onto this piece of cherry wood here that I got out of the backyard, and I just shaped it to fit my hand a little better so I can work it good. So what I did, I just trimmed up this platform right here, and this ridge is what we're going to bring off. Alright, flakes love to follow ridges. Alright, so a platform is basically a sloped edge that comes down low to the bottom of the rock, okay? And it usually is set up on ridges like this. So this flake is going to follow this ridge and remove the flake, alright? So we're going to hold it tight in our hand, tight against the back of our hand, okay, so it doesn't move when we hit it. Alright, I like to prop it up against my knee a little bit as well. This is called freestyle knapping, or freehand knapping. I'm not resting it on my leg and knapping. I'm floating, but I'm also stopping that backwards motion some as I'm doing that. Actually, let me trim this up a little more because that's not good. Alright, grind it down a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's take this.
Look at now. Come on now.
Just like that. There it went. Popped off. Flake. And that was right here. Now we have another ridge set up there that we can set up this platform and continue that ridge over. You can hear how glassy that sounds when I drop it. That's telling you that it is really good quality flint, or not flint. This isn't flint. Grinding the platform allows the transfer of energy from the bopper to the rock, and it goes through the rock rather than crushing a weak edge. So by grinding, you take off the weak, very thin edge that will crush when you hit it. Okay. Set up again over here. Take some of this other side off here a little bit. Yeah. Buddy, it's raining and we can't go to the park today. I'm sorry.
No. Let's mess with the chair then.
Please don't push on that, okay?
No.
Watch your feet now. I got sharp glass over here. You don't have shoes on.
What are you doing?
I'm napping.
What's that?
Napping arrowheads. I just put some step fractures in there. Didn't want to do that. That's my out of practiceness for you. These are step fractures. These aren't good to have in the napping. So this here we have a big flat edge right here. It's a 90-degree edge. These are hard to get rid of and hard to get into because you need a sloped edge rather than a flat edge to get into. Okay, and if you hit into this flat edge, it's going to cause step fractures like this, and you don't want that. So to get rid of this, you have to zigzag your edge. It says up and down, up, down, up, down. So we're going to flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it, and work this edge down. So I'm going to show you this edge now. You see it's flat. We're going to make it more like that after we get done with it. So I'm going to start over here, and we're just going to work our way down and go from top, bottom, and zigzag, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'll show you guys. I'm going to flip it, take it out. Flip it. If I can get it in there. There it is. Nope. It's going to stall on me. Alright, we're going to come in from the other side then. Take that corner out. Hit it one more. Now. There we go. There it is. There it is. That's what I wanted to do. I'm gonna grind that down. Usually I got a grinding stone I use, but there's that edge again now. See? It's gone. See that flat edge? It's gone. I have a great big platform right here. I'm getting ready to shoot a flake down here. There it is. See that? Took that big hump right on out of there. So this went here. Boom. Just by setting that platform up, we thinned it down. And this will make another arrowhead. So we'll put this aside. Alright. Continually flipping back and forth. Make sure you watch your eyes, guys. It's usually best to wear some eye protection, although I don't do a lot of things I should do. But I'm not going to teach you guys the bad ways that I do. So wear glasses, nap outside. Alright, so we're getting there. We're thinning it. We got a good ways to go yet still, with some thinning. And remember, as you thin this, you are losing width on every hit, and every pass you do on one side, you are losing width. So the idea is to thin this before you run out of material, okay? So the process has to be done somewhat quickly. And there we go. That was a good one. Another good one. Got a small step fracture, but it's nothing I can blow under that. We got a hole, a little hole pocket right in here. Usually you have some druzy quartz crystals and stuff like that in this stuff. It can be little hard pockets. We got to work up here on this nose section where it's really thick and chunky. I do have some step fractures up there I have to be careful with. This other side is pretty good. So I think I'm going to try to blow this step fracture out by hitting this platform right here. If this works, we'll get rid of all of that step fracture there. If it doesn't work, well, we'll just bunch up a bigger step fracture. There it goes. Now the step fracture is gone. So I took care of that. We came in from behind it and got rid of it. So, alright, so let's see. We're going to have to look over the piece pretty good. Find out where the next spot's going to go. We're going to follow this small ridge right here. We're going to get rid of some of this stuff right in here now. So I'm just going to grind this edge. We already have a platform there. It's a natural platform. And there that goes. Alright, that's gone. This side's looking pretty flat. There's a step fracture right here. You can see there's a step fracture there and a pretty nasty chunk taken out of there, but these are all near the edges, which is good because all this is going to be worked away anyway by the time we get into the meat of this to get a point out of it, or a blade, or whatever we want to make out of it. So. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to shoot into this thing, y'all. Alright, I'm gonna trim this whole entire edge. I'm gonna lift this edge.
You on video?
Yeah. It's alright. We're gonna just trim this edge. What I'm doing is I'm lifting this edge, and I'm creating a consistent platform that runs the whole edge, so I can take a series of flakes. Just get that one damn piece right there. I think there's a damn pocket in there. Yeah, it's a nasty pocket. It's alright. We'll see if we can blow through it. Let's see. It went through it a little bit. Not as good as I wanted. Let's see here. Alright, there we go. There we go. getting there. We're getting there. That one cut me. Just step fractured. I didn't hit hard enough, okay? So here's a step fracture. It's right in the middle of my piece. So I'm going to have to come in from behind this piece over on this side and get it later on. I'm not going to mess with it yet until I work this side down, okay? Which we're getting ready to do. I need to lift this edge. Now, I'm not really trying to teach anything right now. I'm just trying to demonstrate and kind of talk about what I'm doing. Later on, we will go into these different things that I'm talking about. So you can know exactly what I'm talking about here. Alright, there's that. That was good ones. That was good ones right there. So look, you can see how it's thinning down. You can see I'm getting it flattened out compared to what it was before. This is all just with a bopper, a copper bopper, and this is just a modern version of a round hard hammerstone, which does the same exact thing. Yep. Alright, that side looks pretty good. You got some issues, but nothing serious. Oops. It's alright. Good one. Ooh, we went up in there. Be careful, Brian. You're gonna split it. Don't go too deep. Don't go too deep. You want to stay under the median ridge, okay? So when you have a biface, which this is considered a biface, meaning two faces, one on this side, one on this side, and it is differentiated between with a median halfway mark. So these kind of go all like this, but you typically don't want to hit anything above the center line of your piece of the thickness. So halfway between the top and bottom, you don't want to hit above that halfway mark. Everything you want to hit is either halfway or below that mark when you are working underneath of these pieces. If you hit above the center line, you'll crack the piece in half, okay? That's just the laws and nature of the concordial fracture. Ah, damn, I just chunked a damn big spot of it off. Had a crack in it. It was a natural freeze crack that had healed over. Kind of like, if you guys can see, I don't know if you can see it. There is a freeze crack right here. Sorry, my phone camera sucks, and I can't download my video from my GoPro right now on my phone because my phone's a piece of crap. So this is an old freeze crack that healed over time, and this is what just broke on me over here and left me with this messed up edge right there. So we'll work on that later, but we're going to continue thinning this piece. Nice, nice, nice. Now the reason for copper, all right, is that copper is soft. It's just hard enough to not break, but it's soft enough to dig in. So you can see my bopper, how it's got all these little holes and divots all in it and all, and that's from the edge of this. So what happens is when this hits it, it grabs and it goes into that copper a little bit, and that copper is able to peel it off. It grabs it and it pulls it, peels it, throws that energy forward and chips that flake off. A steel or something very hard that isn't soft like copper basically just bounces off of it, or it just shatters the edge, and it breaks it. You can knap with it a little bit, but it doesn't work nowhere near as good as this. Soft hammer stones like sandstone, stuff like that, also work well with certain rocks, as well as antler and bone as well work well, because they are soft enough to do what it has to do. But you know, the antler is a little harder than the bone, and but they both work. Especially some rocks work better with softer tools than others, and you typically just have to learn the materials as you work them. So we got this piece with this. Oops, drop it, break it. No, I didn't break it. But I had done that before. And I'm napping over concrete, so I don't suggest you nap over concrete like I'm doing, only because if you drop your piece, of course it's going to got a possibility of shattering. Now would be a perfect time to stop doing this direct percussion, which this is a direct percussion. I'm hitting this piece with this directly. An indirect percussion would be another tool that I would place on this and then hit that tool with another tool, which would be indirectly hitting this piece. From this tool to this tool to this tool would be indirect percussion. And flaking would be hand flaking with a hand flaker, which I'm probably going to switch over to a hand flaker or indirect percussion, just so I don't break the piece. Nice one. Because the thinner it gets, the more fragile it gets, and the easier it is to break, especially when you're using a heavier tool such as I'm using now. I believe this is like an inch and a quarter or inch and a half cap, which is a pretty big cap. So I'm going to lift the base. I'm going to lift this base up, and be careful working the nose, from the nose end and from the base end of your points, because you will break your points a lot easier hitting them in that direction because of the length of the piece. And as you hit down here, this wants to lift. This lifts. You see how that happens? So if I hold this nose down and I hit this, it wants to break in the middle because I'm holding this down as I'm pivoting this piece like this. So you really have to be very careful hitting on the edges. I try to do most of mine cross sideways because it is less rocking that happens. Okay, but sometimes you do need to hit in these bases, and you can do it. You just got to be very careful. You have to support your piece correctly to be able to take the shock of the blow. And depending on the rock itself, and how good the rock is, and how good of quality the rock is, and how good it naps depends on how hard you have to hit the piece or the size of the tool that you need to use. This is pretty dang good material, although the Flint Ridge has a lot of junk in it, a lot of healed fractures, unhealed fractures as well, so you can run into a lot of issues in this rock, but it is one of the prettiest rocks there is, I believe, in the United States. This does come from Flint Ridge, Ohio. You can order this stuff online from guys in the groups, and let's try to hit this on the bass. I'm scared. There it is. Just barely hitting. There we go. That one don't want to come off. If it don't want to come, don't force it, alright? Because that's how you break things. Be easy. As easy as you can, should I say. And it's going to get it close to where I want it. Start pressure flaking. I'm going to work this down to get rid of this little hinge in this space that I put here that I couldn't get out. Trim it just a little bit, grind it, see if I can get rid of that. There it goes, got it. And I did a little flute right there. You can see where I just took it at. That little flake scar right there on that base is where I took it out at. So here's our preform. I'll probably start to do some indirect percussion from here, and we will take it from there. So, yep, I'll get back with you.